Okay. Welcome to my sports studio and welcome to Banter, football banter with Jesse. First of all, I'd like to apologize for not being on in like 3 or 4 weeks now. So I have taken some holiday to attend to family issues. And, I've also been under the weather for the last 2 weeks. But I'm back and strong now. And welcome once again. Yeah, today I'm rocking Liverpool. I'm a Liverpool supporter, a proud one for that matter. And uh, we we won. We just won, and that's it. So we're going to be exploring, some of the things about um, the victory of Liverpool. And also, we're going to be talking about Arsenal. We're going to be talking a little bit about what happens, with the league and what are we expecting in the transfer window. And yeah, that's what we're going to do today. And then we're going to go to the Nigerian league and talk briefly about the winners of the league in that, space as well. So there was just a day or two difference. Liverpool won, and then the Nigerian league leaders were also confirmed. And from next week, hopefully, I'll be able to bring in our esteemed, guests, to join me and talk about banter in football. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do, today. Let's do this and come back. Okay, welcome back. Let's talk about Liverpool. Now, Liverpool, nobody saw this coming. Yeah, nobody saw it coming. Um, in fact, there were about 30 different pundits in the UK pundits, and when they were given the task of suggesting who was going to win the league, none of them gave Liverpool a chance. They said, okay, probably Liverpool were going to be in the top four, and that was it. Or they're going to struggle to get into top four, and they gave quite a lot of reasons. In the last two seasons, Klopp was rebuilding. The team was not strong enough yet, and one of the I think, is the chiefest reason that they gave was that the new coach Slot was coming from a lower league, league that was not rated, and is going to come into the Premier League, and that's going to be a tough work for him. And there's statistics, to suggest that actually. Um, Number one, a lot of Dutch coaches, they've not been really successful in the Premier League. You can talk about Van Gaal, you can talk about um, so many of the coaches. I can't remember them offhand now. They didn't cut it. They did not win. So it was said that if a coach is coming from the Dutch league, they are not going to cut it in the Premiership. But kudos to the Liverpool team. We all knew that since FSG took over, there's been some massive changes in the back end. The backroom staff. They depended more on technology. They depended more on statistics, and they depended more on using data analysis. To look for players to guide them in what areas they needed to improve. And initially they were going to go for another coach. Everybody knew that Xabi Alonso was a former Liverpool player and a former Real Madrid player as well. And they did make, a fantastic effort to give him everything he needed to come to Anfield. But that was not to be. He didn't want to make that move at that point. Bayer Leverkusen were champions. They were beating every all comers, and they were doing well in the Champions League. And obviously breaking, the dominance of Bayern in the German league is not a mean feat. So Liverpool had to move on. We couldn't wait forever for anybody, and um, Slot was winning the Dutch league with Feyenoord. And the great thing about that was that he was also breaking, you know, the stronghold of massive teams like Anderlecht, and these other teams are expected to win. And he did come over to Liverpool. Um, People did not know him, yeah, but I did some research on him and I found out that, yeah, all of these good coaches actually, they were almost always bad footballers or average footballers. So if you look at Mourinho, he was an average footballer. If you look at Sir Alex Ferguson, he was an average footballer. And I thought that it's very rare to see a very brilliant footballer that's also a fantastic coach. So one of those type of coaches is in Filippo Inzaghi, that's just coached Inter Milan into Champions League finals in the last 3 seasons. Yeah, so in 3 years, it's been to two finals. So those kind of players are really rare. If you look at Klopp as well, Klopp was a really really bad player. Not just average, not bad. I wouldn't say bad. He was average, and he knew it and he said it. I think what happens is, if you're not very good as a footballer, you are able to sit back and understand the game. But that's a battle for another time. Anyways, everyone said Slot was going to fail, especially coming on the heels of a legend, a legendary coach, not only a coaching legend. He was also he's become a scouser. He understood the city like no other. And in recent times, he was the only coach that carried the city along, carried the footballing club along, and carried the global audience along as well. So he was well loved. And were it not for cheating Man City and the amount of money they've spent, with Pep, he would have won 3, 4, league titles. Anyways, it was not to be. So when the season started, we should not forget Ateta and the Arsenal, fans and supporters thought, oh, we got it nailed on. We can beat City to this game. We were not. Liverpool was not even in the conversation at all, at all. And it's the nature of things. You got to only analyze the stuff that's put before you. That's the team. So for the last 2 seasons, in fairness to Arteta and Arsenal, they've been the one who challenged, the dominance of Man City, and they could have won it. I thought that if Arteta was a little more experienced and was willing to learn from other greats, he would have won one of those in one of those 2 seasons. And the funny thing is, if you are presented with your chance and opportunity to make a while the sun shines, and if you don't, that is going to create quite a lot of trouble, because that's your chance basically that you're frittering away. And that is exactly what happened to Arsenal. So this season, Arsenal felt that it was their birthright to win the league. Yeah, and rightly so. They spent quite a lot of money. So Arteta, overall, in the last 5 years, he spent over £700 million. So that's a lot of money. I don't think Klopp was able to spend that much. I think the cumulative spend for Klopp was around 480 million or so. Okay, he bought rice for 100 million, right? They paid 80 million for Havertz, Kai Havertz. Um, they signed Calafiori, right? They signed the Spanish guy. I can't remember his name now. So quite a lot of business they did. Perhaps one of the unforgivable mistake of Arteta was the fact that he let all of the attacking players, the guys who he could call off the bench, he let them go, right? he let them go, and uh, he thought that he was going to do the Pep thing. So I thought is a Poundland Pep. It's just trying to copy Pep's format, and even Pep had to buy Ireland, just to make sure that it's got that firing power because Tiki Taka is actually going out of fashion. These guys have woken up to the ways in which you can nullify Tiki Taka. So yeah, Arsenal. Up on the time they played Liverpool, they were even when Liverpool was leading by 4 points, they said, "Okay, we're gonna clear it. Liverpool's gonna drop point." So the argument went from, "Okay, they've not played anybody serious yet. Oh, they've only played the weaker teams, the bottom teams, and we won. We beat all of them. So in up till now, Liverpool has only lost 2 games in the league, just 2 games." And they've been crowned champions already. So you can leave a comment. Let me know what you think about my analysis of um, what happened to Arsenal and Liverpool, and then we can have some discussion about that. Because I do think that um, um, Arteta, for me as a person personally, I do think Arteta has to take the blame for not leading Arsenal to the promised land. He had the opportunity, he had the chance. Klopp could have that excuse as, oh, I don't get to spend a lot of money. I've got, I've got Pep spending all the money. It's a 115 charges against this club. But he came up with his plan, and within 7 years, he won all the cups that you could ever win. He won the Champions League. He won the league. Funny thing is, Arsenal, fans would like to tell us that the EPL that Klopp won was a COVID EPL, but they've always forget to tell themselves that they also won a COVID FA Cup. The only claim to fame of Arteta was winning the FA Cup, and that, my friends, was a COVID Cup. So there's really no excuse, for Arteta. And of late he's been saying some silly daft comments. I know that he's got a lot of pressure. It's been 20 years, 21 odd years now that Arsenal have won the EPL, and they've never won the Champions League. So really their claim of being in the same category with the likes of Liverpool and Manchester United, it's false. Seriously, it's false. If you think otherwise, let me know what you think in the comments. I think it's demonstrably false. If you've not never in your history won the Champions League, and you want to compare your 13 EPL, let's say the league, cup that you've won, to Manchester United's 20, and now Liverpool's 20. Excuse me, you have to try harder. So, and even in the Champions League, he's been saying that Arsenal were the best, club. Nobody is going to agree to that. It's a fool's tirade. That's why I call it. Um, if you look in the format that we've got, Liverpool top that league and followed by Barcelona, right? In the process, we won all the games that we had. Everyone they put in front of us, we had to beat them. Real Madrid was one of those. They were dispatched. You know, so and then about 4 teams from England actually played PSG. So I think they beat PSG. PSG beat Man City by a point. I can't remember, so I'm not in a position to give you the accurate figures. I think that was in the group stages. But when it came to the knockout stages, in the quarterfinal, no, I think in the round of 16 or so, yeah, when we met, um, they did not beat us. We beat them 1-0 in Paris, and they beat us 1-0 in Anfield. So we were eliminated based on penalties, and that everybody knew that's lottery. It's when it goes to penalties, everybody has got a chance to win. So it's based on luck. They won, and then we wished them, all the best for the future, and that was it. So we never lost on the field of play. Next, they played Aston Villa. They beat Aston Villa in France. When they came back to England in Birmingham, because Aston Villa is situated within Birmingham, right? They only won by just a goal. I mean, overall, on total, by a goal, but they lost to Aston Villa right in there. But then they played Arsenal, and Arsenal were like, okay, piece of cake. We're going to beat them silly. That's what they were telling us. And um, they played, they lost 2-0 on their own patch, 2-0. And then you went to Paris. What happened? These guys were winning, 2-0 until Saka was able to pull one back. So if you lost to them that way by a clear 2-3 goals, what are we saying then? How can you be the best team out there? How can you say the PSG players told you that you are the best team? That's not on at all. That is lying. So, and for the neutrals, I support Liverpool, but I like to analyze football from a broad point of view. We'll come to that in the other side of this. So, let me hold it for now. Uh, we'll come back again. Let me, go to the market and and then we do it once again. So, welcome back. And now we've virtually come to the end of the season, and there's quite a few finals that will be played um, um, across Europe. So let's go through the list and see UEFA Cup final fixtures, all domestic cup fixtures. That's going around. So on Wednesday, the 14th of May, Trabzonspor in the Turkish Cup, Trabzonspor will be playing Galatasaray. And you and I know that we've got a special footballer in Galatasaray. That is, his name just went off my head. We got uh, uh, Osimhen. Osimhen. Why did I forget? Just a lot of things going through my head. Osimhen is a fun. In fact, he's eclipsed his own goal total for Napoli when they won the Italian league, and it looks like they're going to wrap up, the Turkish league very soon. So I think he's going to get a double if they beat Trabzonspor. So Osimhen, I think I'm going to pen him down. One of the reasons, let me just say it now, it beggars belief that Galatasaray can get Osimhen on loan to win them, but to win them the Turkish league, and ostensibly, as it's going to turn out to be, the Turkish Cup as well, to win the double. Arteta needed a forward who can put the ball in the back of the net. So I'll come back to that. So yeah, you can imagine, keep that somewhere there to understand what's going on. So yeah, that will be on Wednesday, 14th of May. The Coppa Italia, also holds on the 14th of May, um, 8 o'clock in the night, European time. It's Bologna and AC Milan. So At least there's a whole lot of competition in the Italian league, and I remember that my partner at More Sports, Kenny Faguero, has been documenting the rise of Italian football in the last 6 years. They've been playing some fantastic football, and one of the things that they've got going for them is the ability to manage talent even into their older ages. So Acerbi scored the equalizing goals. Inter Milan were dead and out in the second semi-finals of the Champions League. They were dead and down and out, and he took that 2 minutes from time, or is it 1 minute from time, that Acerbi to score that equalizer that took them into no, that won that won the game for them. Won it 4-3. It equalized and won the game for them. No, I think he won the game for them. Yeah, yeah. Or am I mixing things up? Anyway, never mind. Italian football has enjoyed some renaissance, and if Inter Milan under their coach wins uh, the Champions League, it would have confirmed totally that Italian football is back. Acerbi, for your information, is 37 years old. Whereas in the Premier League, what were we saying? At Liverpool, the owners were negotiating with uh, Van Van Dijk and Mo Salah over what? Their age. They thought that, okay, we're not going to give you 2 years. Let's have 1 year rolling contract, because once you're over 33, we don't know if you're going to go down in your performance, or if you can keep it up. But in Italy, it's not that like that. Italy is a whole different, kettle of fish. It's the Probably it's the weather, what they eat, and how they see life. They seem to be able to keep, older players going, and they allow you to play into your 40s if you can. So yeah, that's one to watch out for: Bologna versus AC Milan. And then in the UK, we've got the Emirates FA Cup, and that is on the 17th of May at 4:30 in the afternoon. So Manchester City are going to be playing Crystal Palace. For that one, I'm a fan of Crystal Palace just for that day, because I don't like Man City. Basically, not because of Pep or what they played, it's because of the cheating. You cannot be cheating your fellow, teams. We're all competing for the same things. We should compete on the same footing. Not that you're doping up, you're financially doping, and then you're expecting to be praised, for winning all of these things, especially when a brilliant coach and brilliant Liverpool team were denied quite a lot of opportunities to win, things, even more things. So that will be Manchester City and Crystal Palace will be playing on the 17th of May. And in the Europa League, that will be 21st of May. So it's all kicking off this month, and more sports will be able to bring you some of the we're gonna, do some of it together. Or Europa League, my colleague Wole Opatola might anchor, that, and we can enjoy commentaries on that one. So hopefully, fingers crossed. So Manchester City versus Crystal Palace on uh, that's no, that's Emirates Cup. So that is 17th of May. 21st of May at 8 o'clock. It's been tagged the Clownico, clown clubs, That's what some of the journalists in the UK are calling it anyway. They call it El Clownico. That is the Europa League final between Man United and Tottenham. That is going to be serious. I'm going to watch it from beginning to the end, and I don't want to be disturbed, you know, on this one. You know why? Number one, there are two things, right? Number one, whoever wins the Europa League gets a backdoor promotion into the Champions League. So now imagine that in the league, you've poorly performed, like you're number 13, number 14, and suddenly you win the Europa League, and that gives you access to, you know, to the Champions League. That is massive, guys. And in the week, uh, Arsene Wenger was actually really talking about this, and it was really salty about why they should not allow these teams, to go to the Champions League. That they should actually be made to automatically qualify for the Europa League. But that is questionable, to be honest. That comment is questionable for me because this new rule was put in place in 2016 and it's favored teams from mainland Europe. It's favored teams from Portugal, I think from Spain and France. Why are you going to come up now and say, oh, because there are five teams coming from the English league already, they should not have another one? I mean, come on now. Come on now. The fifth position was guaranteed because of the football that was played in the league by English football teams, especially Liverpool and Arsenal. So it was earned. It was not something that was gifted, you know. So I don't agree with Le Prof, as a Wenger there. Never. So number two reason is that um, when you play in the Champions League, you earn more money, and what does more money do for you? You're able to buy more players. You're able to keep your best players by giving them, really good contracts. So in a way, this game could save the season of both the club and the board. You get me? So there's money involved, there's pride involved, and there's history involved. Now, if Tottenham wins it, they've not won something in over 50 years. Just imagine, in over 50 years, they've not won anything. And Ange Postecoglou, the coach of Tottenham, when he came, he said, "Oh, I always win things in my second season." He was laughed at. He was derided. People thought that statement was ludicrous. But as it turns out, he has a chance to do it. And if he does it, that is going to be one of the most fantastic predictions in world football, or statements, because it didn't. He said, "I always win things in my second year," and he's backed it up. He backed it up in Japan. He backed it up in Scottish League with Celtic. Now he's on the verge of doing it again. So trust me, if Tottenham wins this cup, oh my God, Arsenal fans, just go and bury yourself on the ground. I lived in N16, so I know. I lived in N16 before. I lived about 14 years in N16. So I was actually living in between N9. No, I think Arsenal was N9, yeah, and then the postcode for Tottenham is N17. So I could go to both. I drive around both clubs and see the rivalry. So every match day that's got something to do with Tottenham, you go down to Seven Sister Station. People are going to get off the tube and start walking all the way down. People who's going to park in Northumberland Road, Edmonton, walk down, to the stadium. And then if you go to the other side, and then the whole of Finsbury Park Station, Arsenal Station, and um, all of the surrounding areas, it's full of Arsenal fans. So trust me, if Tottenham, if Tottenham wins the Europa League, oh my God, oh my days. Arsenal fans, just dig the ground, bury yourself in, and don't come up again until next season. They're going to rub it in your face. Trust me. Trust me. And Man United, they've had all these series of problems, with management. So Ineos have come in, and what is Ineos doing? Ineos is, kind of like, saying, uh, this is it. Ineos is saying, yeah, we're going to sack quite a lot of people. We're going to try to save money. They've been doing really stupid things anyway. And they brought in Ruben Amorim. Thankfully, Liverpool dodged the bullet. I think they interviewed him as part of the process, and they were not really convinced. So they asked him, "Oh, we're not going to take you. We're going for slot." And what have we seen is that it's not necessarily a bad coach, but I think it's young and is unwilling to be adaptive in the way he coaches. So he must be it's either my way or the highway. That's what he does, and it suffered. It suffered with the Man United teams. They've plunged the lows of the lows, this season. He's broken all the negative records that you don't want to have. And the season has been really pretty bad. They've been hovering between 13, 14, 15. That's sort of, you don't expect to see the all conquering United of the 90s to be such in a lowly position. And if Amorim manages to win Europa League, he has just bought himself another 3 years. Nobody's going to question him. Yeah, trust me. And look at what that will do for Arsenal as well. So Arteta has claimed trust the process, and has been there 5 years. He's blown £700 million. And here is Amorim. Amorim came just last year, 1 year in, and he's got the Europa League. So what is Arteta going to say? What is he going to say? So think about it. Think about it. For me, that is going to be I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. So someone is saying, what team do I support? I'm not here to I know you're talking to me, so yeah, I can see your comment here. I support Liverpool Football Club, but I analyze, football generally, and this is banter. So we have right to say what you need to say. So if you saw some of my guests that I bring guests from different teams. I bring them from Chelsea, from from Man U, from Arsenal, from Liverpool, from all kind of clubs. I've even got uh, friends who support West Ham, friends who support Tottenham. I've asked them if they want to come on the show, and some of them really don't want to come. But if you understand what I'm saying, thank you that you love Liverpool, but I'm not really dissing anyone. We're just saying it as it is. So in light of the cup has been won. That's why we thank you for loving Liverpool. You know, that is why we're talking about it. So thank you for engaging with us. Thank you for the chat. Keep it coming, guys. So yeah, as I was saying, if United wins the Europa League, Ateta is going to go and hide himself under the rock. It is what it is. You can the claim of your success is the cups you win. It's the cups you win. It is what it is. Nothing more than that. So that is the one that you don't want to miss. It's Monday, 21st of May at 8 o'clock in the evening. Fantastic time. So over in Germany on Saturday, 24th of May, we're going to have DFL Poker Club. That is the equivalent of the FA Cup in Germany. And that is going to be between Arminia Bielefeld and VfB Stuttgart. Uh, you know, over in over in Germany, we've got serious African players. Just like in Crystal Palace, we've got Eze. Eze is one of the best footballers, in the Premier League, and I love him. I love his style of play. It's street wise, and he knows how to dribble. He's give you the entertainment. Gives you your coach vibe. So I do really, really, love what he does. So yeah. VFA Stuttgart, we've got Frimpong, and we've got quite a few. Frimpong is a subject of transfer into Liverpool to, to uh, take the place of Arnold, or to reject the team anyway. So that will be over in Germany. So in France, on the same Saturday, 24th of May, around 8 o'clock, there will be the Coupe de France. Coupe de France. So the Coupe de France is the French Cup. Basically, it's their FA Cup. So who else is it? They call it the Farmers League. So PSG will be playing Stade Reims. So you know who's going to win, unless something really drastic happens. That is going to be PSG. Uh, so yeah, I don't know what might happen, but PSG will really want to win this because their next game is going to be Champions League final. If you lose something, you're just creating doubt in your mind, and you don't want to do that, right? So that will be in France. On the 25th of May in Portugal, you're going to have the Taca de Portugal. So it's going to be Benfica versus Sporting Club of Portugal. So that's one to look out for. There's quite a lot of African players in that one, and then a lot of them are subject of speculation about the coming transfer window. So that is Portugal. The UEFA Conference League final is going to be Wednesday, 28th of May at 8 o'clock. And who is playing is going to be Chelsea versus Real Betis. Um, that is going to be something, something. I think the ex-tour Nigerian coach, Finidi Judge, I thought he played for Real Betis. Yeah, please, if I'm making the wrong, statement about that, can you tell me in the comments? Just let me know in the comments, please. I thought. Anyway, the issue here about this conference cup is that, yeah, it's a top tier of European football royalty. Anyway, it's created for the teams down there. But as we can see, for some teams that will never, never make it in the Champions League or at the Europa League, it's something for them to look forward to. So we saw what happened with West Ham when they won this cup. Till date, Rice of Arsenal, his only cup win, his only title that is won ever in his life as a professional has been the Conference League Cup. He's been to Arsenal to go and win cup. He's not won anything there, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So, but the irony of this cup is that Chelsea, come on, let's talk. In 2 seasons, you spent 1.5 billion US dollars. 1.5 billion. That's money laundering. And you're handing out 9-year contracts to kids that you don't know if they're going to like you 2 years down the line or not. So, what exactly are you doing? What exactly are you doing? Yeah, you're in the final, you're expected to win it, but fingers crossed. If you lose it, then the banter will be out of this world. So you better win it and tell yourself this is what we need to do. And then the last one on the 31st of May is a Saturday at 8 o'clock in the evening. We're gonna see who wins between PSG and Inter Milan. PSG and Inter Milan. That is going to decide who wins the big ears. The Champions League, as we fondly call it in the UK, we call it the big ears. Who wins that? As far as I'm concerned, it's 50-50. But personally, if they ask me which team is going to win it, I'm just going to say Inter. Yeah. Inter, one, they've got a fresh understanding of how to play in Champions League. They were there 3 years ago in the final. Um, they narrowly lost. Yeah. Of course, PSG was there in 2020 as well. Within 5 years, this is their second final. And they've got experience as well. So the good thing about PSG right now is that they've eliminated all of these messiahs, that stumped in their games, game plans. Because if you've got Messi in there, if you've got the Brazilian in there, and you build the team around them, and they are prima donnas, and every set play, every football movement, every drive ends up in with them. That means you're putting all your eggs in one basket, right? But now what we see is a team that is cohesive, that is playing like a team, not a collection of individuals. They're playing like a real team. So you got to give it to them. They beat all the four best football clubs in England. Yeah, hands down. So everyone is taking them to win, but I think Inter, they are tough customers. Really, really tough customers. They're solid defensively, all right? And they will take their chance when they get it. Then they've got it. They will take their chance. So I'm going to say it's just likely going to be in favor of of Inter Milan. They are the underdogs, and I love underdogs. The old Liverpool story has been one of underdogs. So most people don't realize that Everton is a parent club in the city of Liverpool, and Liverpool FC was a breakaway club, and the underdog became the ones with the title, and that's why it means a lot more. That's why when we were playing PSG, the greatest detractors that we had were not from the usual leagues, Arsenal or Chelsea or United. It was the Everton. The Everton, guys, they did not want Liverpool to get another title when they've not. Their last title was in 1985, FA Cup. And do you remember who scored the goal? Daniel Amokachi of Nigeria was the one who scored that goal, gave them that cup. Prior to that, they've not won stuff in like 50 years. So they were in the same league with Chelsea until Mourinho came. So yeah, that sort of thing. So you can imagine. So that's what's gonna come through anyway. So that's what's gonna you can look forward to in May. And in the Nigerian Professional Football League (NPFL), um, last season, the 2023-24 season saw Enugu Rangers claim their eighth, NPFL title. They finished with 70 points, just five ahead of Remo Stars, who were second placed. Uh, that marked a significant achievement for Remo Stars. They were just promoted to the top flight in 2021. Now, fast forward to the 2024-25 season, the champions of Nigeria are Remo Stars Football Club. They've secured their first ever league title, and they did that by beating a very old team in the Nigerian league, Niger Tornadoes, with an 84th minute goal by Olamilekan Mohammed Adebayo. So yeah, so that's what's happened, in Nigeria. And I know if you go on more sports, Facebook side, you're gonna see quite a lot of things on the South African League, on the East African League, some countries in East Africa, and all of that. So we do put stuff up there. So yeah, guys, um, let's take a little break, uh, and then we'll come back and summarize what is going to happen next season. What should we expect in the window? Don't go. Yeah, that's it. Let's have a little bit of laugh. That's what we do here. We just have a bit of banter, a bit of laugh, and then we all go home. So you can keep the comments coming. I will, I would, entertain the ones I can. Also, Kenny, thank you. Uh, you just said that Remo Stars are the best teams, are the best managed club in Nigeria, and their stadium facilities are fantastic. And that the owner of Remo Stars, Kunle Shoname, is a brilliant manager. I don't know if he's a manager of the team or if he's the coach, but he's the owner. And obviously, from the way they've performed, they came in, um, they came in into the elite league in 2021, placed second in 2023-24 season, and now they are the champions. So you cannot fault that at all. I cannot fault that. So kudos, 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 kudos. Keep the comments coming. I'm going to respond, to as many as I can. So yeah, and I must point out here that there's Ikorodu City Stars. I think they placed fourth or fifth. That's what they placed. Um, um, More sports have on our roster at more sports. We have Toyib Gidado. He's a fantastic Chan Eagles. The Eagles who play uh, the local tournaments in Africa. Yeah, he's one of those. He was called to camp, and he propelled his team to further fit and Ikorodu Stars. Check them out on the league cup. So he's done really well. So shout out to you, Toyib Kidado. You've done very well. We're proud of you at more sports, and we know that you're going to go forward, and then probably one day, put your name on that Nigerian Premiership Football League. And say, Toyib Gidado, not only are you a Chan Eagle, you're also MP, NPFL champions. So that's one for you if you're watching. Okay, let's start to round up. What's going to happen next season? One, summer we're expecting, the 115 case, uh, the allegations put against Man City to be concluded. Yeah, we've had some feelers, let me be straight with you guys, um, nothing is as squeaky clean as they make it look when it comes to European society. No, 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 no. It's corrupt. That's what I'm going to say to you. So I'm not expecting that they're going to come out and they're going to say, "Oh, we're deducting points," or they could deduct points in. No, no, they know that okay, Marseille have got the players and to upstage 10 points, so they will still end up in the top four anyway if they did that. But they're not going to strip them of the cups because if they strip them of the cups, Mourinho is going to get one cup for Man United, and Klopp is going to get two probably. So Klopp is going to get two, and Liverpool. So we're going to leapfrog Man United as the most successful club. Already we are the most successful club, but we're going to even put a gap, in that one. So we need that to conclude so that we know what's coming. We know what the, what they're going to conclude. So, what's likely to happen? I've followed many journalists on this. Is that okay? The Saudis, or is it the Arabs? The sheikhs. They've got a lot of money. They've got deep pockets. So the FA loves money. So they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna work out a deal. You will pay this money. You will pay." These teams have lost out. These other teams that if they negotiated £10 million, settlement for the first five teams, and then negotiate 5 million for the ones in the bottom, and then the ones who got relegated in those seasons, they get to 2 or 3 million. Case soft, money talks. So that's what I'm expecting personally. So that's that about Man City. I don't have anything, but um, the guard of honor is going to, and Liverpool is playing on Monday, next Monday, and uh, Chelsea already gave Liverpool a guard of honor, and some of the Chelsea players were quite rude about it. But we don't care. We don't really care. When you became champions, we gave you that, honor, and then we did it from the bottom of our. That's how you know class. You can't buy class. You can spend 1.7 billion. You can spend 2 billion in a season. It doesn't mean you've got class. So we know that, there are thugs down there in London, and some section of the Arsenal fans have been saying, "Oh, don't give them, the honor that they deserve." You know, what? Who cares? Nobody cares. We already won the cup. Who won the league? Liverpool Football Club. So that's it. But this is what's going to happen. I think that Arteta has only got one more season to save his skin, because his hold on the Arsenal fans is really, really massive. I don't know what he's giving them, right? Uh, okay, so I got a message from my colleague that More Sports is preparing a story on South African Professional Soccer League, uh, and to show you their financial models, and then to show you how clubs are prospering and being followed down in South Africa. So uh, clubs like Mamelodi Sundowns are in the finals of the African Champions League, and there's something they're doing really well down there that we really need to dive into, and bring the story out. So thank you so much for letting me know that. So back to what I was saying. Tata's only got. You remember I was going to say about Oshiman. If a club like Galatasaray have scouts and board members who understood that they needed a striker who can put the ball in the back of the net, how come a club like Arsenal that is competing on all fronts failed to do that? How come? It was on loan. You didn't need to buy him. Then you went for Sterling. I thought Sterling could have done better than what he did, but you did not play him. You need to build up his confidence. You can't just. It was coming from where he was pushed out of, the team. Basically, at Chelsea, he was pushed out of the team. So you need to build up his confidence, and you need to say, oh, this is what I want you to do. Kai Havertz is not going to give you the numbers. That you've tried him for 2 seasons now. He's not going to give you those high numbers. It's just like expecting that Nunes in Liverpool was going to deliver the cup to you. Never. Yeah, he played his parts here and there, but Salah, and this season, all of the Gakpo, um, even Zoboslai and McAllister, they've pitched in with their quota of goals, that made Liverpool champions. So the goals came from everywhere. So you have to carry a threat in, and that's one of the things with Alexander Arnold that's leaving. He was scoring, when we're in tight corners, he was scoring for fun. So yeah, before Rice was able to score 2 goals, Trent was doing it for fun, really. And I don't know why he was misused everywhere he went. Even in the English national team, they did not understand how to use Trent Arnold, such a world class player. Anyways, so that's what's going to happen. Ateta shot himself in the foot. When he was going to splash the card, he went for Merino. That's the name I wanted to remember the other time. He went for Merino, and then he was playing Merino as a striker and all of that. That's look, it's not going to work. Look at Madrid; they've got forward guys. They even got Mbappe. Look at City; they've got Ireland. You get me? And that's why you need to understand the genius of Slot. Nunes was not performing, but he was, somehow he got Capo, and it was playing the Colombian as well. He was alternating him, starting him as nine, rotating, making sure that there's goal threat in every department of the game. Van Dijk was scoring. He is what he is. So I thought that Arsenal, yeah, I understand those who love Arteta. Arteta has taken you from where you are and has put you where you can constantly challenge, but he has to drag you over the line. It's just like Gareth Southgate. Gareth Southgate managed the best crop of English young footballers. To what effect? To what end goal? Nothing. Didn't win anything. He couldn't drag them over the line. So if you can't drag your team over the line, what's the point? That's what I'm saying here. So we're going to start on the same footing next year. Ateta is going already. They've gone for Zubimendi, so it looks like it's wrapped up. They're going to have Zubimendi. All well and good. I thought that you had a good guy in. I don't know if they thought that their captain Odegaard, because of his injury, that he may not come back, and then you now go and get Zubimendi. And probably, okay, if you get Zubimendi, are you going to do a double pivot, midfield, defensive midfield with Partey, or you're going to get Partey to leave and put Zubimendi there? Do you get what I mean? So I don't know what he's really going to do. Well, I thought that he needs to make sure that he knows which player is best 11. He needs to stop messing about. You need a striker, get a striker. Let's compete. Now, for Liverpool, in fact, the feelers that are coming out is that this because with Slot, we only bought one player. We bought the Italian, what's his name? Can't remember now. He didn't play because he was not Slot player. He was bought by the committee, and that's it. And we bought Mamadashvili, who is the goalkeeper. So there's going to be a lot of outgoings in Liverpool as well. It's not that it was a complete team. No, 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 no. It was never the complete team. So it is going to be like, yeah, Trent is leaving. So they're going to get Jeremy Frimpong from Leverkusen. And there's a talk of getting this Atletico Madrid, player who was formerly at Man City, the Argentinian. So yeah, yeah, let's see what Slot does. But I think Slot is a very, very intelligent coach, and he knows what his style is. He knows how he wants to play and how he wants to set up. So he's not faffing about or messing about like Ateta. Play party in defense today, and then look at the development. Look at what he done to Gravenberch. Klopp did not even unlock the greatness of Gravenberch. So we heard yesterday that Bayern Munich are like, oh, if we knew that he could defend, he could play into this role, we would never have signed Palinha for 51 million euros. So he develops players. That's what I'm saying. He gets new players to come through. And when you look at the Chelsea project, I think Chelsea project is kind of like iffy to me. You just gather all these players. There's no experience. There's no spine of the team. So they're always bottling it when they should be winning. So I think that is down to experience and being allowing the team to settle. So they've settled now. What they need is experience, and they need a coach who can guide them. That's all. Get into top four, get into Champions League. Try to gather the experiences, and that's it. And for City, I don't think City are going to be in the era in which they keep dominating. People have found out Pep. There's no style he's going to play now. People knew that this is what we're going to do, and Pep's players are required to do some kind of relentless um, tiki-taka kind of thing. People don't have, and all they do is set traps for you, like Aston Villa does. Set traps for you, get fast runners, wing backs that can run like hell. Bang! Look at what when they played Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest lost the game, but they could have won that game by three clear goals if they got top finishers. It is what it is. The Premier League is good in this fact they will suss you out and they'll fix you. So I don't think, yeah, they will always be in the conversation for the top four, but I don't think they're going to win the league. They're going to draw points. Yeah. So that's what I can say for now. So thank you. That's hopefully I'll get my guests to come back and then we can have some kind of talk about surrounding what happens in the postseason and then what happens in the Nations Cup and all of this international football. And also significantly, we need to discuss what's going on um, in the window, in the transfer window. Who's buying what? Who might we buy? Who's getting who? And what they're getting is a round pegging round holes. Is Zubimendi what Arsenal actually need? I think he's a fantastic player and it's going to do a job for them. But is it going to solve their striking crisis? That sort of thing. I know they're going to spend, but how much do they want to spend? So we know Pep went out and spent an extra £200 million in the January window. Is he going to be allowed to spend that much? Is that going to be a case of, FFP brought to Chelsea for their spending as well? Because they've been doing some creative accounting with their spending. So we're gonna discuss all this and more. Yeah. And thank you for staying with me. Thank you for the comments. Keep it coming. Subscribe to our channels. Hit the like button on our YouTube channel. I'm monitoring the YouTube channel from here. Yeah. Thank you for watching with us. Just click the like button, drop a comment. I'll try and respond to as many as I can during our live shows. So thank you so much. This is where we say bye bye, and then hopefully I'll catch you next week. Bye. Ciao.